it's a full speed ahead because this time of the year is the time when these decisions are made from a personnel standpoint.
Speaking of personnel, where are things with Blake right now?
Blake is the quarterback with the Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
Yeah, he is right now, and he won't be much longer with Nick Foles in. Blake Bortles is out. Nick who?
Nick who?
Nick
who?
Nick who? Nick who? Nick? This doesn't have anything to do with Nick.
I thought you were talking about somebody else.
The moment they hired John DeFilippo to be the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, the handwriting was obvious. Nick Foles would be the guy they would pursue. And fortunately for the Jaguars, no one else was pursuing Nick Foles. They got lucky because if you have another team that is hot on his trail, then all of a sudden the price goes up and the price goes up, and maybe it does go north of $25 million a year. As it stands, 4-year deal with a base value of $22 million. It can be worth $22 million per year, $88 million total. It can be worth $102 million over 4 years, but we don't know what he has to do to get there. Probably a lot of things that he's unlikely to do. Probably a lot of things where if he would do them, the Jaguars would be thrilled to be paying him $102 million over 4 years. But $22 million, when you consider where the quarterback market currently is, not that long ago, we'd have said $22 million. I mean, that was Aaron Rodgers' contract before last year.
Yeah.
That's more than Russell Wilson's currently making on average. That's more than Ben Roethlisberger's currently making on average. But so many of these deals, starting with Andrew Luck, continuing with Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers' latest deal, so many of these deals have just flown past $22 million, where if you're going to have a veteran quarterback, you're going to be paying in that neighborhood. That's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be for the Jaguars, and I think they should be happy. They got a Super Bowl MVP, Chris, for only $22 million a year.
That's right. Got a Super Bowl MVP for, less than the current market for what it goes for starting quarterbacks. I think that's a positive, certainly. They had to take into account, too, hey, they're on the hook for some money to Blake Bortles this year regardless. $10 million, right? If they post June 1st cut him, they can split it between 5 years this year. $5 million this year, $5 million next year. So I'm sure that was playing into it too, going, man, we're going to be on the hook at the quarterback position for a little more than we'd like anyways. But either way, I think this is a great signing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, Nick Foles, the reason he doesn't get $26 million is because, I don't want to say he's been a flash in the pan or anything like that, but we just haven't seen a full body of season work from him in a long time. And I think that's why he doesn't get the big money. As we saw last year in the 2018 season, he started the season as the starting quarterback. It wasn't exactly pretty then. He comes in later in the year, takes over, and certainly
Whoa. Time out.
Right.
Remember we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Remember we had the discussion about why Nick Foles may have struggled early in the year. Why did we think that maybe Nick Foles struggled early in the year? Do you remember?
Well, probably because he thought Carson Wentz was back there ready to take his job, right? So,
he's worried about Carson Wentz hovering over his shoulder. When's Carson going to be back? And you agreed that is a very real dynamic.
Definitely
You're thinking, when are they going to put Carson back on the field? Wait, where's Carson?
Sure.
And you take that out of the mix. He's not going to be worried about getting benched in Jacksonville. This is his gig. So maybe those first couple of weeks, that same dynamic won't apply moving forward.
I think you're right. That's fair, but to push back against what you're saying, too, I mean, hey, he had a chance in Kansas City. He was with the St. Louis Rams.
No. We did this last week.
No, okay.
Look at how he did. His games in Kansas City weren't bad. You are fake news. The Rams year is the only year that you can point to and say he was bad, and every quarterback that played under Jeff Fisher for the Rams was bad.
Okay, so we're just setting it up. It's not fake news. We're telling context into why the guy's getting $22 million. Regardless of all the excuses you are making for him, this is the reality of the situation, why no one's paying him $26.
The guy was the Super Bowl MVP. I wish I had people have to make that excuse for me. He really is a decent guy. He was a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, my God, he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah,
he beat the Patriots.
I know. I understand.
What else does he have to do? Cure polio?
No, he was great. But again, it's a team thing too, and he's going to help this team out a whole lot because they are missing a quarterback that can do normal quarterback things. As you've heard me say before, throwing the ball down the field has not been very good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick Foles is certainly going to bring that aspect to the football team. I mean, one of the reasons the team fell apart last year in Jacksonville, yes, they had injuries that certainly made things tough. But franchise quarterbacks get you through those tough periods and make some plays in the third and fourth quarter of games to there you go, okay, it's a tough period here as far as the season's concerned. Hey, at least we didn't go 0-3 or 0-4. Our quarterback saved us, and we went 2-2 through that stretch where we were really banged up or injured. And they didn't have that luxury in Jacksonville. If the run game wasn't dominating and the defense wasn't just absolutely kicking the crap out of everybody, it was like, wait, we gotta hope Blake has it today. And I think that's really ultimately where Jacksonville said, no, we got to move on. The quarterback situation has put too much pressure on the organization and the team itself the last 2 years to just play beyond. The defense had to play out of this world in 2017. The run game was out of this world in 2017. That's why they got to the AFC Championship game. They finally moved on from a mistake they had in Blake Bortles, and I think Nick Foles really, with John DeFilippo, is a great signing by them and really going to give them a different aura as a football team altogether.
Anytime that a guy who played quarterback at a fairly high level, I'll give you fairly high level, anytime that guy assesses another quarterback as not put on earth to throw a football, which was your assessment of Blake Bortles, the bar is low in Jacksonville for what it's going to take for this team to have a decent passing attack.
Yeah.
And, we've seen what Nick Foles can do, and I think I kind of like the fact that Nick Foles continues to be disrespected, continues to be demeaned, continues to be overlooked. That only is going to fuel him to go to Jacksonville and be even better. Jaguars fans have lost their minds over this. Like, folks, you have had Blake Bortles and you've been defending him for 5 years. Why are you resisting a guy who won the Super Bowl MVP award? It's amazing to me. What other options do the Jaguars have? They ain't getting Kyler Murray.
No.
Tom Brady isn't available. Nick Foles is the best available option.
No.
And you could argue, especially after what we saw last year with what Case Keenum did in Denver and Kirk Cousins did in Minnesota, maybe this works out in the long run much better for the Jaguars waiting a year and getting Foles versus getting one of the guys who was available in 2018.
Yeah, right. Guys available in 2018. What is it? This also saves them. They don't have to be in the quarterback conversation for the number 7 pick in the draft now. I mean, they don't have to be. Maybe they still are, but it doesn't make them desperate for the quarterback in the draft too. I think that's where the smart play is. And in Jacksonville, I mean, I just think Nick Foles is going to fit the style of play to which they want to play perfectly. It's going to be a lot like what I think we saw the Eagles, how they played the last 2 years in the playoff stretch, right? They're going to run the ball. They're going to play smart defense. And in certain situations, they're going to go, hey, big Nick Foles, just stand in that pocket and, make some big throws here and there when we need you to. And that's what he's done for the Philadelphia Eagles in clutch times. And I think that's going to continue for him in Jacksonville.
Yeah, look, I'm excited for what this could mean.
Man, they're getting backlash about this in Jacksonville?
Yes.
What have they won? I don't understand. I
don't know. Yeah, they want someone other than Nick Foles. But, once they see what he can do and once they see that he's not just a guy who's going to pad the stats when they're down 30 points in the fourth quarter, he's a guy who's going to help them win games, and he's going to bring a quality to the locker room that it desperately needs. I think that he will command respect. And I think that he will provide a brand of leadership that may help get past some of these rough spots we've seen in recent years where guys aren't getting along. I don't think Blake Bortles had that desire or ability to be the leader or the swagger to pull it off.
No, I think he was
part of
Why are they
listening to Blake Bortles?
I think he was
why
part
would
of the
anybody listen to him? He stinks.
Right. Well, I think that was part of the dysfunction because I think a lot of the team down there felt like, wait, we're here I am, Mr. Defensive Tackle or defensive end or cornerback. When I don't do my job, man, I seem to get the wrath. But the quarterback doesn't seem to do his job a lot, and we just keep throwing him out there. Hey, here's more money. Here you go. Oh, hey, you've never done anything wrong. So I think that's part of what was going on down there. The frustrations of that position were filtering across the team where there were the defense is having fights in the locker room from everything I know about going, well, why are we held accountable? How come if we don't hold a team to 10 points, we're in trouble as a football team, or the defense gets scolded for not absolutely dominating? Jacksonville is in win now mode. Their team is set up to make a Super Bowl run. Jalen Ramsey, Yannick Ngakoue, Callaway, A.J. Bouye, Miles Jack, all these guys are about to be in the prime of their career. Jacksonville fans, you don't want a young quarterback right now and have to wait for him to develop. And Nick Foles, by far, is the cream in the crop at quarterback for free agency. So why wouldn't you want him? That's where I would just push back against the Jacksonville fans. So.
Well,
There's
you have covered all bases as it relates to Nick Foles. You have trashed him and both praised him in the same segment. So we can check every possible box
I
on
never
this sheet.
trashed him. I just gave some context to why maybe he didn't get $26 or $27 million a year. That's all I did.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.